Welcome everyone to another radio-free Cybertron review. I'm your host Diecast, and today we have Function X5, so Function 15 maybe? M.A.D.L.A.W. Just to compare the boxes real quick, just because this is a little bit different than what we've been getting in the Function line. I have Codes box. As you can see, it's just a tad shorter. Um, and it's about double the width, roughly. So, want to give you guys the full experience of this figure, just because it doesn't seem that there's many videos out there right now. This guy, and I'm sure being a six changer, that a lot of you are going to want to take a look at this before you jump in and purchase this. And it is just the standard, sleeve. We'll get that out of the way. Boxes will flip open. And inside here you have M.A.D.L.A.W. Take him out. Come on. All the great things to do on camera. Fight with boxes. And he did have tape applied, but because I already opened him, we'll just pop him out there. And now, in robot mode, all you have to do to get this guy in the full robot mode is turn these wings in the backwards position, or facing back. Bring the arms down. Do that on this side too. And there you have M.A.D.L.A.W. So he doesn't have the best heels, so he is a little bit harder to stand, but if you push the feet down, you can get him to stand fairly well. And before we get into a comparison with him, we'll show off the instructions. Now, as a couple people mentioned online, and as you can see, they go from one mode all the way down through till you get to the next mode, and then they'll actually say, like right here for robot mode, Master V. So that's basically out of the box. You only have to do 2 or 3 steps, and then you got Master V, and then it goes right on to the next transformation. So I'm gonna try and follow the instructions. There was a couple things when I transformed him yesterday that I noticed were just not really in the instructions, or weren't that easy to decipher. So I only transformed this guy once into each mode, and it was kind of a mixed bag for me. Not really sure how I feel about this figure yet. Robot mode looks great. I don't really have a problem with robot mode at all, but I just didn't have that urge to keep transforming it. After I got done the 6 transformations, I was kind of like, all right, that's Quickswitch. So I really don't have any, affection for this character. So it's not like Astro Train, which I absolutely love, and I'm sure whatever Astro Train I get, I'm getting the DX9 Astro Train. I'm sure I'm gonna love that, even if it's not perfect, just because I love Astro Train. So, next bit of accessories, which I didn't even open last night. You have his guns, the 2 little small ones, and they are all just red plastic. The handle does move back and forth on the small pistols, and the large pistols, they seem to have a little bit of back and forth, but I think that's just due to how they were manufactured. And they are all solid red plastic. So, And in robot mode, they tell you to peg his guns into the side of his legs. Right there. He's a gunslinger. Gunslinger, as they say, ready to go every day. See, you didn't know you were going to get bad rhyming when you listen to this review. So, put some of the bigger guns in his hand. They're a nice tight fit. Nice and tight. I am noticing on the video, M.A.D.L.A.W is coming up a lot more blue than he actually is. He's actually a teal green and not blue at all. But for whatever reason, the video is showing him as blue and red. So there's that. I definitely have to go around and maybe not for this video, but for the next video, just go around and try and configure the color settings, because something's definitely not right. Unless it's just this figure. I never had a problem with any other figure so far. So before we get into transformation, let's do a couple more comparisons. Here he is with another FansProject X series, and this is Brainstorm, or God, I can't even think of his name now. But yeah, there's him, and you can see that M.A.D.L.A.W is a lot bigger. Right, about a chest and a head. And then for the next figure I'll bring in a size comparison on, this one is a teaser for the next review. So you guys really want to check out my next review. That should hopefully be going up not too long after M.A.D.L.A.W. And this is the Unique Toys Finrar. Forgot to look at the box and get his name. But really liking Finrar. Really, anyone who's watched any other reviews so far of my Unique Toys knows that I am absolutely in love with this combiner. I think this has the potential to be one of the best combiners of 2013, 2014, 2015. The only one, and I don't have it in hand, but the only other combiner that really comes to mind when I'm thinking of great combiners would be the Mastermind Creations. Sorry, my brain froze there for a second. Because everyone seems to like that, and I wish I would have got in on that one, but I just kind of missed the boat on that. So, get these guys out of the way. And I am kind of gonna have to reference back to the instructions just because there's 6 modes on this guy. And to learn 6 modes before I shot the video, I'd probably have to shoot the video in like 3 or 4 weeks, and you guys don't want to do that. So, just from the side here, bring the camera down just a hair. From the back, he is a very nice looking robot. Also, he has a gimmick, not really a gimmick, but an area on his head. You see the faceplate right there. Feel like Magnus, instead of open, damn it, it's focus, damn it. So, see that visor. There's a little lever on the back of the head where you can actually flip the visor up. Just like right there. His face to me, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not that familiar with Quickswitch. Very human style facing on this guy. So, and that's about it for robot mode. Let's go ahead and get him into some of these transformations, because we got a lot to go over. Try and move through these as quick as possible. Take the guns off. He's gonna fall backwards. I apologize. You know, one of the reasons he's falling backwards is I'm working in front of myself. He's actually not as bad um, as, say, DX9's Not Mirage was. That thing couldn't stand up hardly at all. He's a lot better than that, but he's not perfect just because he doesn't have really great heals. But you can get him to stand with relatively no problem. The first transformation we're going to do is for Woodrunner, which is basically his animal mode. So, first thing you want to do is you can pull the head back and open the chest. And you kind of gotta push his head all the way through a little bit so this chest plate starts opening up. And what that does is that gives you room to get his head into the cavity, you know, his chest cavity. Otherwise, you can't get the head in. So do that. Close that chest up. We're gonna come to the arms. We're gonna rotate these wing panels down. Rotate the panels down. You kind of got to lift them up a little bit because they do peg in the back and down at the bottom here. But then you're gonna pull the arms to the back. Now you can straighten these panels here. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna create the front of his face. These arms can come down on the sides now that they've rotated around. And then for the arms, all you have to do, open these panels, flip the hand around, and that'll bring the foot out. Then close these tread panels or the bottom of his forearms back up. Same thing on the other side. Open that tread up, flip the hand in, flip the foot back, and then close that tread panel a little bit again. Now on the face also, you come around, you can open the mouth. Oh, he's upside down. Open the mouth, and then these little ears can come up. Just like so. Since the arms are the wrong way, we'll fling them around. And because there are so many transformations, it does get a little... Things can get in your way, but if you just try and slide some things around, you can make enough clearance to flip them around. He does have a little neck rotation, kinda, so you can get him in a howling pose if you want. Anyway. And we're going to come down to the legs. And you're going to flip out the feet. Or flip out his beast mode feet. You can flip his robot feet around and down. Actually, in the instructions, even though this looks a little bit cleaner, it tells you that his feet should actually be like that. So really, your choice. One of the reasons I think they may have you pose it this way is a little bit easier when you're going into the next mode, whatever that is. Then we're going to flip these guns out on the back of the legs, just like so. And then these legs will actually turn just like that, and then you collapse the legs. Whoops. And everything is ball joints, so if you pop something off by mistake like I just did, it'll pop right back on. That probably means I turned this the wrong way. Yep, there you go. Now you would think you would tab these together, but for some reason you actually don't tab these together. What you do is you bring this piece down, and I haven't found a good way to tab it in. It kind of just sits there in between the panels on this one, just like that. I don't know why. These guns can turn down just a little bit, and then he's upside down again. So I did something wrong. I'll just rotate him at the waist. There's a lot of rotations, so like I said, if you do what I did and something just doesn't quite look right, if you just flip it around, it usually fixes whatever problem you have. And there is his beast mode, and it's pretty big. I do like the front of it. I like the look of him. These are supposed to be on the side there as opposed to back, and that's one of the things. I'm not sure if that was in the instructions or not, if I missed it, but the only part of this mode that really bothers me is the looseness of the back legs. I mean, I guess it works. It gives him a little bit more movement in his hind legs, but it just seems very loose to me. But then again, it is a good looking beast mode. So there's that. And the next mode we're going to get into is airstrike, which is, I guess, an airplane mode. So try and get into this real quick. First thing it tells you to do is it actually shows two guns in the instructions that we don't have. So I don't know what they're trying to show you. But the next part, and I should probably show you that, they're showing two guns in the corner of the instructions that I don't think we have. Oh, unless these pull out. They do. Okay. These red guns do pull out, and then you can flip the handle all the way up. So apparently that's what they're showing on this. But I don't know why they're showing them. Maybe they're just saying to get them ready. So we'll get those ready. Put those off to the side. Come on back to him. So to close the legs, we got to rotate the legs again. That way these panels right here are on the back where the drill is. Close them up just like so. Come up to the feet Feet just fold in. You want to split his face, close everything up, and bring these down just a tad. Okay, once we got these at the top here, we're going to rotate the arms down because they actually want to be sticking to the front of the ship or aircraft or plane, whatever you want to say. Just like that. Now that we have them facing forward, they want you to rotate this whole piece around, which there's a lot of rotation going on with this guy. And then once you rotate that around, you can actually, probably before you rotate that around, you can flip this drill piece up. And it is on a ratchet. Just like that. Now the arms are in the wrong place again, because you kind of the instructions do kind of get you lost as to what's supposed to be turned and what's not. So there again, the legs are out to the front. And now we're going to rotate the legs to the top so they're sticking out the back. And now we're going to rotate the wings so they're down at the bottom. And then the legs just fold up. You have to spin the leg around so it's facing the inside. Straighten the foot out. And that'll allow you to fold the front of the leg up, and it'll tab in. Nothing tabs in exceptionally well on this, but there is a lot of tabs that you can see throughout this thing, and a lot of times they hinder when you're spinning them around. Like that back tab just catches on the back of things because of there's so many modes on this guy. So now that we have that done, these need to be spun around again. And you will spin everything around and around and around. And the best thing is to look at the done picture, and it gives you a better idea where everything should be. So then we'll flip these legs back down. Not yet, though, apparently. Yeah. Flip those legs down. You can see the legs on the back will come untabbed, and they don't really tab in anywhere on here. So there's that. It doesn't really give you a clean transformation. It looks a lot cleaner on the instructions than it actually is in hand, because there's just nowhere, like that peg right there should be able to clip in somewhere on his leg, and there's just really nowhere for it to do that. So the only other thing left to do is you pull that forward, and that brings out the wing. Same thing on the other side. pull that forward, face that up, and that brings out the wing. And that kind of gives you your shuttle mode. You can angle those guns down however you want. And it's an aircraft slash shuttle slash something. And then it also has the instructions to throw in the guns on the top here, which means you would have to use the ports. Flip that out. Compact the gun down. I mean, you could leave them out if you want. You could also put the other guns on at any time if you choose, but you put them in the front if you want. And that's the plane mode. Now the next mode we're going to get him in is laser shot, which is their gun mode. So all we have to do to get him into gun mode, Megatron mode, whatever you feel comfortable with. Pull off the guns. Always seems to be the first step. Throw them on the floor, apparently, is part of that step. You want to take this drill piece, rotate that back down. And one thing I can say about the drill piece, the quality on this guy is your typical FansProject quality. It's very good. My drill, the gears look a little warped or broken or weird. So that's the only actually QC issue I've had with him, and it's very, you know, very uncommon of fans toys to have a QC issue like that. You can see up top there the gears are kind of warped a little bit. But I think that's probably just something on mine, and that won't be the case if you pick this guy up. So, come up to the top, rotate these wing assemblies again up. Some of these instructions, as I say, they kind of get you a little lost. So I see what they're going for. You want to flip these wings down, bring the animal face out like you're going to do that his animal mode again. Snap those together. Kind of straighten everything out. And it's kind of, both are bent at an angle, so you're never going to have it perfect. But once you do that, now you can pull this back section down, and then the legs rotate up just like that. So now you have that L shape for the handle. This is neat. The little chest piece in the front that flips out, you can pull that out, and it's contoured almost to be like a trigger. It's not spring loaded or anything, but it's nice that it does have a trigger there. Then come down to the front. It wants you to separate the legs. rotate this waist piece up to the front. Rotate the legs around. Rotate the legs around. That way the feet are on the back or the bottom of the gun. And then peg these together. There's a lot of unpegging and pegging that goes on with this guy. And I found on the front, these two halves don't have anything to peg together with, so they don't really, they're very gappy. They don't stay together. Just like that. Then you open up these front pieces. Let's slide this one in. There you go. They do slide in. Just takes a little bit of doing. Just like that. And then this flips up as a sight. And there you have your gun mode. You can go, pew 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 pew. That's what everyone likes to do. So don't say I never pewed on camera. There it is. The first time in one of the official reviews, you gotta pew 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 pew. So it works for a gun mode. Again, things just kind of line up. That's how the panels don't really lock in great, but things just get shoved wherever they have room for it. So, which I guess is expected to be expected with a six changer, because honestly, in my mind, after feeling this figure, there's just way too many modes going on in this toy for maybe this price range. But that's just my opinion. Maybe it's because I'm not, like I said, I'm not a Quickswitch person. But I mean, the gun looks pretty good. There's no bad complaints about it. I mean, on all these modes, I don't have a really bad complaint. It's just kind of meh for me. The the modes themselves, I mean, or the plastic quality, again, because it's FansProject, it's the same plastic quality that you've seen on their other toys. The plastic quality is good, and it feels like a nice toy. It's just meh. So next mode we're gonna get into, and I know this is getting a little long here, is their driller mode, or their dirt driller. So the next mode is the driller mode, or the dirt driller mode. And this is another one where it tells you to unpeg stuff and rotate it 1,000 times. So we'll go down to the legs, unpeg them, flip these front panels forward, and then we're going to rotate them this way. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And then peg them all together. So now that'll be up top, or what I think is going to be the top. It might end up being the bottom by the time we're done with the rotations. And then we're going to split, bring back up his beast head. This is what I was saying when, panels get in the way, in order to extend this all the way up, you have to rotate the arms around because they have tabs on them that get in the way. And we'll split this section. Split his head. The feet are going to rotate. And again, these arms give me the most trouble out of anything, I think. You can kind of tilt it back to rotate it a little bit and then bring it back down. That tends to help sometimes. It's just one of those toys you have to fiddle with it and play with it to get everything where the instructions tell you to put them. Then rotate the wings down. That way it's like that. And I think I might have done this backwards again. The arms flip around a lot. So yeah, that's what I think it wants me to do. Plugs in. It looks like it'll plug in, but it's actually just squared off just a little bit. Like I said. So now we have it like that. We're going to again bring this drill piece down. Just like so. Since that's the main part, you know, we need that. Man, I'm flipping this around a lot. Yeah, the instructions do get you lost. So there are two little tabs here that will tab into these bigger circles right here. So we'll bring those down and tab those in. They're not a great fit, but they do tab in. And then these panels here, yeah, they don't tab into anything. That's what was kind of getting me lost. I was trying to tab them into the hips, and they don't tab in. So I'll just do that. Then the hands just straighten out to become what is the treads. Just like so. They also tab in, or look like they tab in, to these circles right here. You can flip the paws up just a little bit. See, because on this one, that little tab gets in the way if you're going to clip them in. And there you have driller mode. And again, this mode is another mode that's kind of for me. It's not one that's particularly that good at all. So as you can see from the back, he's just pretty open and pretty hollow. These feet can flip back. And I believe these guns should have probably folded in. So they're not sticking out. Just like that. But so that's drill mode. It's an okay mode. Nothing really tabs together and stays together quite well. But It's not too terribly bad. The drill does not, unfortunately, spin, so you can't play pretend that it's spinning or anything like that. But let's go ahead and get into the next mode, which is the Aqua Force, which is their ship mode. And this mode isn't too terribly difficult to get it in because this basically becomes the bottom part of the ship. So, first thing it says to do, as always, remove the guns, get them off to the side. We're going to bring the legs back, just like that. And then you want to split the legs and bring this centerpiece through, and that will actually peg into the bottom of his legs. Peg that all together. See that right there. Then this is probably where this is where these bottom panels right here, they will peg into the legs there with some minor, you have to get the angle just right for them to peg in. There we go. Now that we have those pegged in, the arms are going to flip around. Flip these arm panels open. Flip the arm back. Turn this guy around, and these will actually flip up onto the body. Now when you're flipping them up onto the body, you also have to rotate them around, which the instructions aren't too clear on. Like I said, if you look at the neck, what it's supposed to turn into, it kind of helps you figure out what needs to be rotated to go where. Straighten those out. And then the only thing else you have to do, rotate the feet around and they come down. It fills in this kind of top gappiness area. And it also gives you another place to put some guns. So they actually show the guns for this guy, because this is the boat. They show these two smaller guns. They actually show them up in here. I'm not sure exactly where they want them to go, but they're up in here somewhere. There you go. I think there's a spot right there. I think you can plug them into. And it kind of angles the guns out. And that's it. That's boat mode. Again, it's another mode that's It's got this drill on the back, which kind of, really not sure why, but it's there. There's really no room to fold it away, which I guess is one of the reasons they have that just hanging out there. Because if it's up too high on the boat to actually be like a propeller, because that means this would all be underneath the water. If it was a submarine, I guess it would work, but it doesn't really work as a boat. And then if you want to go back to robot mode, like I did, because honestly that's the best looking mode on this guy, you just kind of split everything, straighten it back out, straighten his legs back out, straighten his feet out. Bring these panels back. Straighten out his arms. Split the drill. Bring that down along his back. And then just flip out his hands. You do want to be careful on this guy. His claws are really sharp. Like, I just tried to push on his claws to bring his hand around, and it got me. So all you gotta do is open up his chest, bring out his head. I'll slide down his goggles because that's how I prefer it, or his visor. And there you have M.A.D.L.A.W back in his robot mode. These guns, the big guns, I don't think they were in the transformation at all. In any modes that they show him using those guns, but pretty much anywhere he has a port, you can plug in one of these guns. Except that center, that's not big enough. But everything else, you can plug a gun in. And I kind of like how these guns have that little post on the side, or that little plug on the side. That way you can angle them onto his onto the top of his hips. That's pretty cool. Maybe a little bit of color on these guns would have been nice, but there you have M.A.D.L.A.W.